Buckle up, it's eclipse season and it is here whether you are prepared for chaos or not. Hi, I'm Megan, astrologer, dog mom, friend. Please subscribe and let's get into it. Eclipse seasons occur twice a year when there is both a lunar and solar eclipse in opposing signs. Basically, lunar and solar eclipses are just like supercharged full moons. This upcoming solar eclipse is going to be in the sign of Scorpio on October 25th at 6:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For this eclipse, I really recommend doing your intention setting and your main rituals within 24 hours from that peaks, and that is when the energy is going to be the most powerful. This solar eclipse is going to be in the sign of Scorpio, which is a water sign. That its glyph is the scorpion. Scorpio is often mistaken for a fire sign, but it is not. It is a water sign. It is very intuitive and emotional, just a little bit more below the surface. Scorpios can have the tendency to be very mysterious. Like if you've ever asked a Scorpio what they're going to wear at a party, they might just say an outfit. You might have to kind of dig at them for details. That's just what Scorpio is. But on the inside, they are very, very emotional, sensitive, so intuitive that they are pretty much psychic. A good metaphor for Scorpio is like a duck treading water. It's calm on the surface, but whoa, 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 underneath. Scorpio is a very mysterious energy, and it is ruled by Pluto, which is the house of death, rebirth, and mystery. And Scorpio is often associated with new breakthroughs and change, and not calm, gentle change. This is going to be a dramatic breakthrough, a shedding, especially since this is an eclipse season occurring in Scorpio, which is already a sign of breakthroughs. As someone with a Scorpio stellium, let's just say my car has already broken down, so mercy. Mercy, okay? Eclipse season occurs October 20th to November 27th, and eclipse season can kind of feel like a weird time. I've heard it described as like the period between New Year's and Christmas. Time might feel weird. You might kind of enter a weird time vortex when you're doing things, but doesn't feel like it. That's all natural, and this eclipse season is probably going to be very intense and chaotic. Like me and a very type A, it's really easy to get attached to how you envision things are going to pan out. This solar eclipse invites us to release those attachments and go with the flow and let that chaos change our lives and create some new breakthroughs. During eclipse season, it can be very chaotic, so maybe not the best time to launch anything new that you want immediate results for, but it is a good time to plant those seeds that you then grow for the next 6 months until the next eclipse season. So for example, last eclipse season, when the solar eclipse was in Taurus, I started moving into my new house. And now in this eclipse season, about 6 months later, I'm finally having my housewarming party. So you might find a chapter of your life is either starting or ending during the eclipse seasons. It'll also probably affect you more if you have any prominent Scorpio or Taurus placements. As the solar eclipse is occurring conjunct the south node in Scorpio, it's also a good time to check to see what your south node is. Your south node generally is energies that you already understand or have understood maybe in a past life, and that you slowly need to detach yourself from in this life. So this month, check to see what's in your 8th house as well as your south node, and just see if those are energies that you're aligning with or maybe you're trying to detach from. That's going to be a theme of this solar eclipse, and that is detaching. Solar eclipses give us a really fun, powerful energy because not only are they a new beginning like a new moon is, they are also a release, kind of like a full moon when we are releasing, kind of crashing, burning, destroying to make space for that supercharged new energy. Scorpio is a fixed sign, which tends to mean it's more of a consistent and almost fixed in its ways kind of sign. For fixed signs, their shadows tend to come from a place of instability. So on the low side, Scorpio might have an insecurity to express or show its emotions. That's, I think, a lot of the reason why Scorpio comes off as very mysterious, is that they really don't feel super comfortable getting deep and vulnerable, even though they do feel those very intense emotions. Scorpio might talk themselves out of their dream because they might think they're not worthy of it. They might make decisions out of fear and not feel like they really have control of their life. It's always good information to learn where our emotions or our self is the one limiting us. Crystals you can incorporate are smoky quartz, hematite, black tourmaline, and obsidian. And some colors you can incorporate are deep reds, browns, blacks, sultry colors. And for glamour magic this month, I've said it before, but I think Scorpio has like really hot goth girl energy. So dress up like that, or maybe dress up as a slightly edgier version of yourself. And some rituals you can do, and I do recommend doing these as close to the solar eclipse as possible. Normally you have a few more days, but really the most energetically intense time is going to be right on that day, that Tuesday the 25th. Anyway, some rituals you can do, and this first one I will admit is not very glamorous, but you know me, I like to keep it practical. Scorpio rules your hips and kind of sacral chakra area, so I recommend doing a little gynecological or maybe a bladder tune-up if you're a guy. This is your time to get that pap smear you've been putting off, or maybe get a new birth control, something regarding this kind of health area. Make that appointment, even if it's uncomfortable and not glamorous at all, but it needs to be done, and this Scorpio season is the perfect time to do it. Another great ritual idea is to physically clear off a space that is associated with an area of your life you're trying to bring in change. If you're trying to get a new job, clear off maybe a space in a bookshelf, or if you're trying to eat healthier, clear off a space in your fridge. And I don't mean just shove everything that's in that space somewhere else, okay? We want to release things, but if you find yourself with that blank space, like literally an empty drawer, you might be surprised to find what things pop into your life now that you've given yourself that space and room for expansion and growth. Throughout this eclipse season, I also recommend either using a notes app on your phone or a journal and just writing down any flashes of inspiration or coincidences that pop up in your life. That's how you find your life's purpose. A lot of us aren't born knowing what we want to do in this lifetime, so these eclipse seasons are where the veil between the subconscious and conscious are so thin, so we can really learn from ourselves during these times. Another great ritual idea is a dream life journaling exercise. Take some time and journal on what your perfect life would be, your perfect day, your perfect job, everything. And notice where emotion is coming in. Do you not want to write something down because you don't believe you can't achieve it? That's really good information to know, even if you are limiting yourself. You don't have to completely solve everything every new and full moon, okay? This is a good way to release some shadows, or maybe find yourself in tune with some of your self-doubt so that you can power through it. Scorpio rules the hips and thighs, so some yoga poses you can do are happy baby, pigeon, frog pose, in Malasana. I also recommend doing hip opening exercises. Addison Brianna has some really good ultimate hip stretch videos. I will link one below. But now is that time to open up that sacral chakra and to get more in tune with that sensuality. Some journaling questions are: what fears are holding you back? How can you take action despite fears? What are your biggest fears? What transformations are you welcoming into your life? What are you envious of? How can your jealousy inspire you? How can you stay grounded in times of chaos? What habits align with the highest version of yourself? And how can you maintain your power in times of change? And some tarot questions are: what energy do I need to detach from? How can I remain powerful despite doubts? And what energy do I need to transform my life? Eclipse season tends to be a very chaotic time, so give yourself grace and allow yourself to work through all these new breakthroughs as well as you can. I personally associate the Tower card in Tarot with eclipse season, as it is sort of a crash and burn new beginning. And it can be kind of scary and intense at times, and very emotionally intense, as Scorpio, of course, is a water sign. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this eclipse season brings you all the change and new beginnings and transformation that you want, and maybe don't want but need in your life. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.